Welcome everybody, Lighting Essentials with Don Giannetti, and today we're talking to a good friend of mine, Dave Siegel, here in Phoenix. And Dave, about a week ago, sent me this promo that you're seeing on the screen here, and said, "What do you think?" And I thought, what I think is it's really an awesome photograph, and great to have Dave here for a while. We're going to chat a little bit about the business and what he's been up to. And so, Dave Siegel. Hey, Dave, how are you?
Oh, just fine. How are you?
Very good, very good. The new year treating you well?
Oh, fantastic.
So tell us a
I
little
have
bit.
no complaints right now.
Tell us a little bit about this shop. That's
Um,
what.
it was
What was
kind
the
of,
the process here?
well, I went into the hotel to shoot a photograph of one chef using a frying pan and having fire in it. And when we got there, the electricity was turned off because of um, the electricians were trying to fix some problems with their circuit boards. So the shot that I originally wanted to do, I couldn't get to it because the electricians are in the way. So I was looking around the area, and I kind of thought to myself, why don't we shoot the chefs doing their fire and cooking their entrees through this glass, and then while we're at it, let's set up some food shots in the foreground. And the client thought that was a great idea, and so we started working it. And I had no idea what I was doing. I kept asking the chef to show me what they do. So they were going through showing me what they do, and I'm looking at it. And I'm clicking just some photographs to look at, and then I basically came up with, well, let's just set up a this room shot where people would be sitting in front of the chefs cooking,
Mm-hmm.
and we set up we had them make us three different meals, and I went ahead and styled them a little bit, and then put them in the foreground, and then it didn't look right, so then we added silverware and we added wine glasses, and then we thought, okay, well let's put the wine some wine bottles in there, and then we put the wine bottles in there, and then the wood to the left and the right is what they actually serve the food on, so we put them in there. Then all of a sudden, we just started adding things, and then I turned around and I said, okay, now we gotta light it. So we basically went inside, and I had these battery packed alien bees, and we lit it with battery packs, and then all of a sudden the electrician's finished, so we were able to get a little bit of ambient light, and then I had the chefs go in there and start doing what they wanted, but I wanted more flame, so we took, unfortunately, all they had was high dollar cognac, so the flame was made with a high dollar cognac thrown into the underneath onto the wood, and then we lit it with, basically lit it with the gas underneath it, and then we had to get the flame to work within the exposure that I had for the ambient lights that came on. The
Right,
ambient lights are the ones that you're seeing reflecting in the metal,
right.
and most of the shots were we had to make sure that we had some sort of kinetics to it, like the people were doing something versus standing there. And pretty much, outside of leveling and getting the exposure, most of the only Photoshop was I had to take the hat off of the main chef on the left and put it on the main chef on the right
Oh, okay.
because he was bald.
Got it. A lot of looks like a lot of grid spots.
There was grid spots, and then there was tight bounces.
Okay.
Like how you bounce a light. Well, what I did was I took the light and I pushed it way up to the ceiling, so it just had a tight fall off.
Okay.
so it
How
fell
many
off very quickly.
how many units did you use?
About 6.
Okay. Just a really nice shot, Dave, and having the bottles over here. Now, I love the way the bottles are sitting here, and then it's light behind the bottles so that they stand out. Is that ambient back
Right.
there?
No, that's one of the a low key light that we put behind it.
Same thing back over here, I imagine.
Yeah, yeah,
Just
and we
light
also
coming.
added that tree in there to hide the as much of the doorway as we could.
Yeah, you using little speed lights back there?
No, they were all alien bees.
Oh, okay.
And then the foreground, if you notice the highlight on the top of the what do you call that?
Right there.
Um, the exhaust.
Yeah.
Yeah, we threw a light on that, and then we uh, bounced we shot bounced a light to light the food.
Oh, okay. So that's just the light coming off the ceiling to light the food.
Yes,
All right. Beautiful.
and the whole thing fell into place. Oh, and then we took soap. I took wine and added some of their hand soap into it, and then we added bubbles to the wine.
Ah, very nice. Yeah, beautiful shot. How'd the client like it?
Oh, the client was ecstatic, and then the advertising agency, just went ape over it. And then after I shot this, I went ahead and shot him the single chef with the skillet and the fire, and that came out nice also.
Very good. Can you tell us who the client was, or you want to keep that?
I don't tell clients.
All right. Um,
I just can't keep that. Let me just tell you, it's a destination hotel.
oh, okay. Wonderful. This is your website, and oh, and by the way, that was a pretty high dollar shot, right? Uh,
Yeah,
that was probably
yeah, that was.
400 bucks. I mean, for that,
Oh yeah, sure.
it's like 300 or 400 bucks for the cognac.
Try 2000. Try 2000.
It's a beautiful shot.
Thank
Your
you.
website, I love the fact that you have resort photographer Dave Siegel, and that really helps you a lot, doesn't it?
I guess. I mean, just when somebody's looking for a resort, plugs in resort, uh, they. I guess I'll come up.
Yeah, you do. You
Oh,
do. It does
that's a
help.
good thing.
It does help. Um, Tell us. I don't know if we've ever interviewed you on an interview like this. I know you and I have recorded ourselves sitting around chatting, which we love to do. But tell us a little bit about your background. How long have you been a photographer and working here in Phoenix?
I've been working here in Phoenix since 1975. Um, Prior to that, I went to Art Center College of Design in Los Angeles. Now the school's in Pasadena. I had a studio in when I got out of Art Center. I opened up a studio in Los Angeles, and then was making all kinds of mistakes. Every time I got a client, I'd lose them, and so I thought I'd better get some experience someplace. So I moved out to Arizona. They were looking for a commercial photographer, and I worked for a place called Photographic Illustrators, figuring I'd get my experience with Photographic Illustrators and make all the mistakes with them, and then go back to Los Angeles.
Yeah.
But then we wound up becoming what they call a big fish in a small pond, and started getting all the top agencies and top clients in the state, and then going national.
And you like it here
We
anyway.
got Oh, I loved it here. I mean, it was compared to Los Angeles. I mean, Los Angeles has some of the top photographic schools in the nation, but it's not just Art Center. You got Brooks Institute, you got Santa Monica College, you got LA Trade Tech, you got LACC, and every one of them has a great photographic department. Most of those people went to Art Center or Brooks, or
Hmm.
they wound up teaching because they couldn't bust into the Los Angeles market.
Wonderful.
Is it, LA is the toughest market in the country to really make it in. Even if and then if you go to New York, and just go to New York and come back and just say you're a photographer in New York, man, it just opens up doors like you wouldn't believe.
Yeah, yeah, that that's so true. We've all seen. You and I have been here long enough to see some people coming to town that quote had been in New York unquote, um,
The
and
joke.
everybody goes nuts over them until they realize they can't shoot their way out of a bag.
Well, the interesting thing about Phoenix was that all the art directors and graphic designers were looking at the Black Book and art directors indexes, and they're using these examples to sell to their clients. And then they'd come to us and say, "Can you do it for $300?" And I go, "Well, sure." Well, it took a week later, and we wound up producing a shot that was equal or better than the guys in New York for $300. And the guys in New York had $10,000 and $20,000 budgets with chrome retouches, dye transfer guys, uh, you know, dupe, composite dupers, the best retouchers in the business, and we wound up having to do it all in camera and for $300.
Yeah,
And so the education that I got here was so phenomenal that we wound up getting a national reputation for in-camera problem solving with film, not digital. Digital didn't exist in those days. And it was like an unbelievable education in photography to pull off stuff without the chrome retouchers.
oh yeah, I can remember many of those shots that you did back in the day. Multiple 8x10 cameras, all
Oh yeah,
precisionally lined up for one sheet of film as you walk down the row of 3 or 4 8x10s.
yeah.
Those were
We
heady days.
did a we did a shoot for Kenrick Advertising out of St. Louis that they went to the top effects photography studio in the nation called the Globus Brothers, and this is in the 80s. And they needed a shot of a termite inspector. Basically, it was 13 images on one piece of film. Well, the Globus brothers went ahead and shot each one of them and composited them, and it looked like shit because, from when you shoot something from left to right, you have perspective change. If you just shoot somebody doing something with a center point on a background, it doesn't look real when you put it together. And we wound up doing it all in camera on one piece of film, and there was no time for retouching or compositing. It had to be done right the first time and out the door. And it was a phenomenal experience, but it was the most complicated shoot I've ever done.
Yeah, they loved your work, by the way. I remember.
Oh yeah, it was they couldn't believe it. And then they wound up getting to reshoot it because originally we shot it with grass in the guy was pumping termite juice into grass, and they wanted it into concrete. And what I couldn't understand was they could have easily have retouched out the grass and just put concrete in. That wouldn't have been hard to do at all. But they wanted to reshoot it. So it was in the 80s. I'll tell you, made $40,000 in 3 days shooting this job, and that's 1980s money.
Yeah,
I mean, that was like equivalent to maybe $160,000 or $200,000 today. And
yeah.
then they went ahead and reshot it.
Just amazing sometimes, isn't it?
Oh, it's crazy because the retouch on that would have only been probably about. I couldn't see it cost more than $1,000 to make something look like concrete on a dye transfer. Even a chrome retoucher could have done that.
Well, and today with digital,
Oh, it's a piece of cake. It's a cakewalk.
yep, Wouldn't have been a problem at all.
None. What took us 3 days to produce digitally, it could do it in an hour and a half.
Yep. Well, things are
I
changing.
hate saying that.
Well, everything changes. Everything
I,
changes. Um,
I know. I know.
so tell us a little bit about your what you're shooting with these days, because a lot of the guys like to know about your gear.
Well, I'm still shooting with a Canon Mark II. I haven't really found a need to upgrade because the Canon Mark II 21 megapixel camera is like way overkill for what I do. And the only thing is the Canon Mark III has an extended ASA ability, ASA ISO, that'll allow you to shoot faster than the Canon 2, and that would be the only reason why I upgrade, was to get more of an extended ASA ISO, because that allows you to shoot more ambient light and strobe with people. Every time you double the ASA, you basically double the power of your equipment.
Yeah. Well, yeah, you're
As you know,
always.
after the new 50 megapixel camera, unless you're shooting posters or stuff that's massive in size, there's really no reason for it, except for your ability to crop the image. But again, I haven't had the necessity to worry about it. And fortunately, unfortunately, you're here to make money, not to waste it on equipment that you don't need. I used to have it's funny is a lot of the professionals shoot with Pro Photo, and I used to have pretty much every strobe manufacturer in the studio, from Norman to Balcar to Comet to Dynalite. And now, I'm working with Paul Buff's Alien Bees and White Lightnings, and the reason why is because the weight of these units are so airport friendly. You can take 8,000 watt seconds, and well, I'm going to say 8,000 watt seconds. It's really probably about 6,000 watt seconds. Radios, grids, stands, chimeras. In one case, it's under 50 pounds.
Yeah.
And I've been using the Alien Bees now for 7 years. And the only thing that I've had to repair on it is when my assistant dropped it. And the strobe tube was $29 compared to my Balcar that would be like $250 for a strobe tube.
I bet you they're higher than
And I hate to say it, but you show me a photographer using Pro Photo, and I'll match his quality with my eyes closed.
that. Yeah, that's what I have, and I love my Pro Photos, but if I had to do it again, I probably wouldn't go that route.
No, the only thing I do like the Dynalite system,
Yep.
because the recycle on the Dynalites are faster, and again the packs are very, very light and very, very manageable.
Well, you shared with me earlier that you had something to show us, so I'm going to make you the presenter. You ready for me to do that?
Yeah, I can try. You can try.
All right, here I go. I'm going to make you the presenter, and there we go. All
Make me
right,
the
you
presenter.
should
Show me the
have your
screen.
screen here in a second. Yep, there we go.
All right, so now I got to get to play. Is it playing?
Um,
I don't know. There it goes.
yeah, there we go.
I guess I can get rid of this. Oh wait, I can't do this. I gotta get rid of this. Okay. All right. This is a portfolio case that we made to show our samples in the 90s to 2000, in the 2000s, turn of the century. We made we actually made this in our studio to be different than everybody else's portfolio.
Mm-hmm.
And inside this was 8x10 transparencies mounted by on 1114 boards, and they were all film. But as 1999, 2000 came in, and the Canon G1 and G2 came in, and then the Canon 10D came into vogue. Film was at its end. Anyway, so these here are, let's see if this is going to work. There we go. This here was shot 8x10 film, and this is also digitally enhanced. So this was the actual original photograph. We shot this for Adidas for an athlete of the year, and it was all shot on 8x10 film.
Wow, beautiful.
This here was shot for Hilton in Cabo San Lucas, and for spa brochure. And this was for the Phoenician in Phoenix, and this is digital. This is this was shot for the Sedona Hilton for their spa, and this was shot for another spa company. I can't remember the name of it, but that was a day spa. And this here was a composite for a poster billboard for the Sedona Hilton, selling Sedona.
So where did you, when you say a composite, you shot her in the studio then?
No, she was shot on this river, and then we just I dropped her out, and I put the Sedona with Bell Rock behind.
Oh, okay. All right.
Her.
That's
And,
right. The river wouldn't be anywhere near that, would it?
yeah.
Cool.
Now this here was pretty much one of the first spa shots I've ever did. It was for the Biltmore, and it was interesting is when we got the assignment, the spa director says, we asked them what they wanted, and they say, hey man, just do whatever you're going to do. Everybody shoots the same old mud and same old shots. And I walked away from there thinking, oh my God, I've been set up. I mean, how am I going to give them anything exceptional? Because everybody's been doing such junk. So I looked up online all the spa photos that were being done, and they were awful. And so we said, I told the art director, hey, let's try and blow them out of the water. So we did all kinds of different photographs that were different than anything that anybody ever did in 2001. Now they're obviously doing better stuff.
Now,
This here was for the
was that on large format as well, or 2 1/4?
This is 2 1/4.
Very cool.
And this was for the spa. What was it? This was originally what was it? What was the name of that hotel? The Princeville Kauai.
The where?
Princeville Kauai in Kauai, Hawaii.
In Hawaii. Cool.
Yeah. And this here was a shot for spas that was for an article in Item magazine.
Is this film or digital?
This is digital. And this was for a sleep apnea brochure. or you know.
Mm-hmm.
This is the Sedona Hilton for the new swimming pool that they had refurbished.
Well, this is one of the new shots, right?
Yeah, it's pretty new. This is in the last 5 years, and this was for the Western Kierland.
Cool.
There's nothing digital about this photo. It's all in camera. And this is again also the Western Kierland.
This is one that you have in the before and after, right?
Yeah,
Yeah. You lit everything in this picture.
yeah. Everything was lit.
You got
The
strobes on the cabanas. You got strobes on the chairs.
everything was lit. There's, I'll tell you, the only digital uh, manipulation here is this guy swimming. Is they wanted to have more than one person in the pool, and we only had one model, so wound up shooting her swimming and then photoshopping her into the pool. That was the only Photoshop that was done on this.
That back on like a SciTech?
No, no, this is that was shot about 7 years ago.
Oh,
It was,
okay.
it was it was done Photoshop.
Okay. All right.
This was the original the model. Well, model. I met her. She was a girl I met at my daughter's birthday party, and I had her, and I wound up using her in the photograph.
Cool.
And this girl here I met at Einstein's. The girl is phenomenal looking, and we even though I'm shooting her feet on this shot, she had a killer body, and we wound up shooting this for the Sedona Hilton.
All right. That
This
works.
is this for America West Airlines and when they were in existence, and for the article on the Del Coronado. This is the DoubleTree Hilton. Again, everything here you're looking at is lit, and you know all the most every one of the people shots I have is all real people. This is that girl I was talking that was diving in the pool.
Okay. Film or digital?
What's that?
Film or digital?
This is digital, and this is was for the Wigwam Hotel. And this was for the Hilton, the Tapatio. Again, the Wigwam.
Now, how many lights there?
A lot. We lit the trees, we lit the foreground, we lit everything. Pretty much everything is lit, and then we brought a hose in and hosed down the parking lot to give that sheen to it. This was the DoubleTree Suites in Santa Monica, California.
Wow.
And that's
Now,
a
wait a minute.
pool
Go
shot
back.
for the
Now, go
Phoenician.
back. Did you have
Go
all
back.
the lights turned on in Santa Monica?
Oh yeah,
So you had the hotel turn everything on?
everything on.
Ah, very cool.
And we a lot of times what we'll do is we'll have the front desk give the patrons a printout list saying, please keep your lights on when you leave your room and your shears closed. And then, we got most all the lights on. And this was the showing different Phoenician for their pool.
Now, is that lit?
Yeah, we had a strobe light on the left-hand side and the right-hand side, so I can control the light on the background. And they were just bare, actually, bare reflected strobes.
All right.
And as I recall, they were Normans. Norman. I had a 4,000, I think, on the left-hand side and a 2,000 on the right. And this one here was for a home community.
For what?
A community, yeah, for homes.
Oh, okay.
Oops.
Wow. Beautiful shot. How much lighting there, Dave?
Oh, everything. I had a light all the way over to the right, lighting the falls. We lit the palm trees. We lit the sign was lit, and then we just threw pools of light around. This year we went to Cabo San Lucas for the Ritz-Carlton. The Ritz-Carlton has these homes that they rent out to corporate executives, and this is a $5 million house.
Wow.
And everything you see here is lit. We put lights, lighting the hammock. Put lights inside. The lights in the foreground waterfall was in there, so we had to balance that. And then we hit with grid spots inside the area where the fire is. And then I had an assistant all the way to the right throwing a light across this wood panels so that it didn't go black. As you can see in the before shot, this would go pure black.
Yeah. Wow. And how long did you put into that?
This shot took about 3 hours.
Oh my.
Well, what's that?
I would think it would take a lot longer than that just to set the lights up.
Well, I had the help. I had 2 assistants with me at the time, and clients were doing things. And once we got it all squared away, and the sun started going down, then the whole trick on this whole damn shot was to pre-visualize what you wanted.
Uh-huh.
So when the sun went down, you were able to shoot it, because if you didn't have it ready to go, you'll get screwed, because then you'll lose the sky.
Yeah, that little bit of blue sky over there over the mountaintop only lasts for a very short amount of time.
Very short, within 15 minutes. You're talking 15, 20 minutes tops.
Yep. So
And so at the top,
you scout these locations, right? You get out there and make sure.
No, this wasn't scouted. This was, well, the scout on it was when we were shooting the interiors, and then we were just checking on, coming up with ideas on what to do, and then we go talk about it during the couple of days that we were there. But this wasn't the scouted shoot. Just to say we need this bedroom, these bathrooms, this kitchen, this living room, this spa area, this pool area, and then we start shooting the rooms, and then after we shoot the rooms, we check the light around the exteriors, and then figure out what's going to be necessary to pull the shot off.
Wow. Lots and lots of work, my friend. I think it's
Yeah,
pretty
but it's a
cool.
lot of a lot of it's and I'll be quiet, I'm not blowing my own horn, but experience and understanding lighting is very um, important because literally had to pre-visualize the shot and know basically where to put the lights to do what we did. and even and even at when it was time to shoot, we were still running around with our heads cut off. I had an assistant in there, man, running around with a strobe, and I was saying, man, you need to pop it here, pop it here, pop it here, and he'd be running uh, behind a tree, within like a 30-second exposure, and light the light areas that we didn't think about or thought it were lit enough, and they weren't.
Wow.
A lot of times you need the extras, including the handheld, which was really nice having those handheld alien bees with battery packs, because the alien bees gave me I was using 1600 alien bees, which are equivalent to about an 800 watt second unit, compared to like a Canon 550 is what 150 watts or 100 watts.
Yeah. Yeah. And did you? You're shooting tethered on that, correct?
I shoot 90% tethered.
Yeah.
Very rarely do I not shoot tethered because we have to see what we're getting.
Very cool. That's really nice work.
Um,
All right. Go back to the island there, or the pool. Where's the pool?
this one right here.
Yeah. Where's that?
That's Flagstaff.
Really?
Yeah, that's the Little America. They wanted another pool shot, and the pool shot that they had was really, really phenomenal. I mean, really nice. And then we blew them away.
Wow. Cool.
This, and you gotta have a good relationship with God, because I was up in a friggin' cherry picker. It was, you know, windy, and all of a sudden the wind cooled, stopped blowing, and the sky opened up, and we got a blue patch, and bang, shot it. There's no tricks in this shot.
Just just a little bit of luck.
Well, I've had a good relationship with the guy upstairs for years. I've never been rained out, and I've always been able to get the shot. But if because if you look at the before shot over here, it's it's junk. And digitally speaking, probably could have pulled it out, but I prefer the real deal.
Yeah. Beautiful. Just a beautiful shot. And that's not lit, right? That's just.
Whoops. Um, I think I had a light. No, I don't think that's lit. But I'm thinking I might have had a light on the left-hand side, shooting across the whole thing, the bare tube.
Very, very nice.
I'm almost positive I did, but I won't. I'm just gonna say this is a gift from God.
Either that or you got an assistant over here on a ladder with a really big speed light lighting up them
Oh, hey,
trees.
well, you know that shot of the girl on the stream for Sedona Hilton?
Yeah.
That's exactly what I had. Was I had my trusty assistant Benny holding a 200B strobe unit, Norman 200B, lighting her. This is one of the interiors for the Cabo Hilton that we did.
Very nice.
Again, everything is lit. This here was for the Point Tapatio. Nobody ever shot a photograph of the resort that for a signature shot because it's almost impossible. You can't do it. And then I was talking to the marketing director, and I go, I bet if I get on top of this mountain, I could probably get a pretty decent shot. So I went up there and I scouted it, and luck would have it, some fucking, some wasp decided to sting me right in my eye.
Oh, jeez.
And I still had to wait for the sun to go down to get an idea of what it was going to take to do this shot. And there's so much lighting in here you wouldn't believe. And yet it was, it was still needed more lights. But we had an AV department of the Point Tapatio helping on it also, and I put a lot of the responsibility for lighting on the Point Tapatio. And I told them where I wanted the lights. We shot this and then I diagrammed this shot from the test shot, showing them where I wanted the lights and what powers I needed to have.
Wow. That's just quite a quite a piece de resistance there. And again,
Oh,
you only have a real short window to shoot that.
Yep. I mean, this one's not as bad as the because it's so far away and a lot of the details are you don't have to worry about as long as you get it. Okay, this is the El Conquistador in Tucson, and they needed a signature shot, and I usually try to look at a hotel and figure out where somebody will never even attempt to try and shoot it from, and that's where I'll shoot it from.
And where is this spot?
This is on top of the hotel, on top of their roof, on top of a bunch of crates to get the camera up high enough.
Very nice.
And again, we lit it. I mean, the foreground's lit. There's lights in the background, just opening up shadows. I mean, the hotel has a certain amount of ambient light that they had, but most everything we did was just to open up shadows.
Now, when you're saying you're opening up shadows, where it, like, for instance?
Like this here, we threw a spot on because it was going dark.
Okay.
We threw a floodlight on a 1,000-watt roll light was on here. We put as many lights as we could back here, just to open, and far enough away so it spread to open up a lot of the dark foliage and getting the green color.
Got it. And this is digital?
Yeah, this is digital.
Cool.
This was Squaw Creek in California or Nevada. It's up near Tahoe.
Beautiful. Just stunning work. So you've really built a name in this type of work.
Yeah, yeah. And again, this is shot on from a roof in a cherry, and sometimes we'll even have them put ladders up there, just so I always try. I try to get a shot that somebody else won't even attempt to do. I get my old one these days doing it. And yes, the moon was there. It came up.
Wow. Very cool. Oh, that's pretty.
Now, digitally speaking, um, they were supposed to turn all these lights on in the background, and they didn't. And I had to somehow figure out how to digitally make these lights come on.
Oh, so you did that in Photoshop.
That did that in Photoshop. But the light on this tree I did. And then there was three. We triangulated three white lightning strobes on here. We needed the power.
Cool.
This was an interesting project. The Twin Arrows Casino wasn't even completed, and we had to shoot it before it was completed, and wound up rigging the camera in an area. I'm not going to say what I did, but there was 30 to 40 mile-an-hour winds going on, and we were up in a cherry picker, and we were able to rig the camera to be solid, so it could handle the wind. And then again, we lit it, but it's right in here was not finished, so I had to digitally finish this area where I'm moving the pointers.
You had to just do that digitally, huh?
Yeah, I had to take pieces of the wall and extend it, and then they literally had scissor lifts and all kinds of materials over here that I had to get rid of.
Cool. Very nice.
And this
Great
here
stuff.
again was pick an angle that somebody else would not even think about trying to do in getting the shot. And we lit this area in here and around in these areas here, and then threw some lights down. What's it? Roll? Was it 3200 white lightnings? Same with this. We had to light this too. Got the angle, and then basically lit it. And a lot of these, you can get away with not lighting sometimes with doing that. What do you call that? The HDR, but it never looks as good. It always looks fake, or most of the time looks fake. I'm not going to use the word always. Same with this. This is again shot at the Twin Arrows Casino, and it was lit. A few good spots on the back of these chairs, and had some lights coming from behind.
Cool. Just a beautiful shot. The slot machines.
Yeah. And because one of the things that I always need to do is have a variety of different types of pictures. I can't just shoot one thing all the time. So I was one of the top food shooters in the country in the 80s, and I can't cook. I don't know anything about food, but I sure as hell know how to write and compose. And you won't find a better beer shooter than me.
What's the
No,
light?
this was for the wigwam.
What's the light?
What's that?
What is the lighting?
Trying to remember. It was a 7.5-inch reflector with diffusion on it on the hamburger. Then we had mirrors around it, and then put frosted a card, put it behind the beer, and then photographed, then poured the head of the beer. And it just seems like it just falls into place. This again was also a grid spot on a 7-inch reflector,
Yeah.
and mirrors and stuff around it. This shot here, it was for the Point hole in the wall restaurant for making s'mores. This I had a small softbox. Wait, did I have a softbox? No, I had a scrim on top with a head going through it, and then we had to. It was very, very close. So before I shot it, I'd get everything set up, light the flame, shoot it, and put the flame out before it burned the material. And I think I was using spun glass for the diffusion material.
Nice. You work.
This was for the Phoenician for a cookbook.
You work your lights in real close too, don't you?
This an interesting thing is some of them I have really close. Some of them I use a large source to give me an overall ambient, and then I'll use grid spots. Again, this is for the hole in the wall.
Now, are these done in the studio or on location?
This is on location. And the trick in location shooting is just finding different props or different backgrounds that'll make it look like it was shot in the studio.
Beautiful.
And by the way, most of these food shots that you're seeing, you don't have a whole lot of time with it because these are just thrown in. If I got a half an hour to 15 minutes per shot, that's what you're looking at. And again, that's where experience comes in. Is I could light something and get it right in a matter of minutes versus somebody who doesn't know what they're hasn't had the experience will take hours.
Yeah.
And I don't care if it's digital or if it's film.
The experience part is really what helps.
Yeah, because I don't want to tell anybody this, but the cookbook for the Phoenician, I did 54 photographs, 50 to 54 photographs in 8 hours. And every one of them was a still life, and every one of them was propped and had different wines and different glasses and different foods in it. And, you know, it was like, I couldn't believe we did it, but we did it. I don't want to tell anybody. I never tell my clients that. And don't anybody tell the clients that.
Nice.
Again, these last couple of shots were for the Phoenician's cookbook. And that's it.
What was your basic light setup for the Phoenician cookbook? Softbox above?
We had about 3 different sets going, and I have a softbox and 4 grid spots and mirrors. So when we set something up, I was able to either grid spot it where I needed it, or overlight it and drop the ambient down, and then so it gave it some dimension and drama to it. It's, you know, you'd have to see it to believe it.
Wow. Very cool. Very, very nice, man. Come and spend some serious time with us here. and sharing
Not a problem.
your work.
It's been a fun career.
Yes, yeah, you've had a really good career. I'm going to change back to me here.
Okay.
And there we go. You've had a great career. You still have a good career. I mean, you're busy right now. You're shooting.
Yeah, we're picking up clients left and right now. I'm working with an agency in Cleveland, Ohio, for the new 600-room Hilton that's going up there before the Republican convention, and then we got Maryville, and then the spas, and we got the Scottsdale resorts, and about three or four of those. And then we have the El Dorado in Santa Fe, New Mexico, and then we might be getting into doing a project for upstate Catskills. They're putting in a new casino up there, and they're rebuilding the entire Sullivan County area. Well, not the entire Sullivan, White Lake, Monticello area that we may get involved in. I hope.
Very cool. All right, my friend. I want to thank you for coming out and hanging with us here. I'm going to say bye
Hey,
to the listeners, but you stay on the line, all right?
sure.
Thanks, Dave, for being here and sharing some amazing photographs with us. And I appreciate it very much. All right, folks,
No problem.
Lighting Essentials signing off. We'll see you next time.